Hey there, everybody. It's Bill MacDonald, the reading and writing doctor. And today I want to talk about the key. Some people say that only one person has the key to their heart, and they're going to throw away that key and make sure nobody else gets it. And I don't know about any of that because I've lost lots of keys and I've lost lots of hearts and probably broken a few in my day. But I noticed a lot of reading questions this past year had the phrase key idea. So think of this: one key, one lock. And so when the students are reading the question, make sure they lock in, that they hone in, they focus in on whatever the key words. Think of it this way: the k question has k k key words that will help your kids look for k clues in their right zip k code called whatever paragraph that they're asking for. So I'm going to show you using a what I call a sequence ladder, but I'm going to climb the ladder to a climax, and we're going to also think about my storytelling remote that most of you who have been to one of my trainings have in your mini binders. It has a fast forward button and a skip button. And so what I noticed that many of the questions had that threw your kids off was that a part of the paragraph or the stanza or the scene had so much information that wasn't related to the k, k key words that were being asked about. So your students had to figure out how to fast forward or skip, beam me up, Scotty, to the part where the key is that goes with the lock that the question is talking about. Let me show you that right here with my third and fourth grade uh, practice test from this past year. You see here, it's question number 1 on my test. Uh, and it might have had trouble because, as you see there, it was question number 23, which, you know, that will help uh, some students get sidetracked or distracted. So I highlighted paragraph 3. That gets you to the right zip code. So we're going to focus on that area only, to that zip code in the city called the Passage of Bully Bill. And here comes the rest. The details about Pork Chop's interaction with Bully Bill support the key idea that. So before we get there, I want you to see here, I'm pointing to one lock, one key. You look at the question, okay? And for all of you other ones that have that phrase, key idea, look for the key words. Pork Chop's interaction with Bully Bill. That means they need to forget about anything else that happens inside the paragraph, the stanza, or the scene, or that section. So we're going to look for clues by skipping and fast forwarding. And there's actually a literal button on my storytelling remote for all of you. And I'll try to make sure you see that at the end, so you can see what it looks like. Uh, so we're going to look through paragraph 3 and find the details that only relate to Pork Chop interacting. That means they're talking together, they're doing something together. They're the key word is action, that there's action between them that takes place. So let me move back to paragraph 3. There it is. And so here we go, fast forwarding. There, Bill, some plump pigs moving in the barn started to pull a prank. As you noticed, he yelled, I heard farmer say he would need some bacon. He laughed and tossed his head around. I don't see the pig named Pork Chop yet. They scared most of the pigs, so they hurried back to their pen. The biggest pig named Pork Chop. There we go. So here's the where we have the first interaction. All right. So your kids should do some sort of highlighting or whatever tools that they can. So here he is, and if I counted it, and um, it was sentence 5. Okay, the biggest pig named Pork Chop. Okay, so this is where we slow down and we hone in. We're gonna look for, because this is what the lock was about. Let's see what key idea, what's the focus, what's the central idea, what's the summary of some of this paragraph. And declared, "You're a very mean bull." So, calling somebody a name, dialogue. Bill thought for a moment. So the reaction was the bully starts thinking and he snorted a reply. "Well, you have a big flat nose, a tornado tail, and pink ears." And he said, "I'm not done. You also are extremely dirty and smelly." Okay. So sometimes he says something. So let's see if Pork Chop has a reaction. Nope, it's more of Bill. Then Bill lowered his head. Okay, this is interacting. So we want to make sure we add all this into the paragraph. Lowered his head, snorted a great snort, and shook his horns at him. Here's a new reaction. Pork Chop was a wise old pig and knew that Bill was trying to intimidate him. That one is sentence 9 of the paragraph. I'll show you in my climbing the climax sequence ladder in a moment. Bill was expecting Pork Chop to tremble through the mud and run away to his friends, but Pork Chop just stood there staring at him, refusing to back down. Okay, so we have an idea that Pork Chop is trying to stand up to this bully. Um, Bully Bill is trying to do his normal thing and scare him away. Uh, it's not working for Bully Bill, but it's not working for Pork Chop either. So we're at an impasse here. After a few moments, he repeated in a soft voice, "You are very mean, Bill," and walked away. So that's the end. So as I look at that, I want to focus on those. And so I want to show you using my who's on first. We talked about the key idea, the sounds, the question, keywords, clues, the climax. We climb, and so we have all of these key ideas that happened where we fast forwarded the storytelling remote to all these key things that happened. Saying something mean, saying somebody is mean, sorry. Somebody being mean with their words, being mean again, doing something mean. Pork Chop is wise. He knows that Bill's trying to intimidate him. Bill expects him to run away, but he doesn't. And Pork Chop kind of just gives up and he walks away after he tells him that he's mean again. So that's the idea. And so what we would look at is which of the 4 choices. So here's the storytelling remote. And if you see here, there's a skip button and there's fast forward. And then you focus on what the key words were telling you to in terms of the lock. So let me go look at that very quickly so that you can see, because my 1-minute warning timer is going to go off and I want to make sure that I try to stay within that timer to keep these videos to a short enough time. Let me get to that question again. So it says, some people deserve to be picked on by others. Well, there was nothing about that. So there's my 1-minute warning. I don't think people deserve to be picked on, and there was nothing mentioned that that Billy Bill should be doing that. So I think that I would eliminate that in my mind. So uh, what if we're allowed to do anything? Let's see if we can do that. Yes. Even when you stand up to bullies, that did happen. They might still be mean. That did happen. So I might choose that one. Pork chop is a very wise pig. Well, because only one detail was about that, you can't use a detail to talk about a key idea if there's only one. So the last one, people will change and be nice if you stand up to them. Well, that did not happen in this case. So that key idea would probably not be true since it had the opposite effect. And yes, that's true. So we have between these two, and because a bigger piece of the puzzle was letter B, then I believe that letter B would be the answer in this case. So we will see if I can uh, highlight that for you. That we're going to choose it so we can say goodbye. Well, there it is. All right. So I'm going to choose letter B here. And there you have it. I hope that that kind of helped you. Uh, Maybe use less worksheets and use things that kind of bring the engagement back in the classroom. The kids think they're playing with a remote. They're watching a little video happening, a little story happening in front of them. So that's not the way, but I think what's happening is many of your kids are getting focused on little details instead of focusing on the key ideas where most of the question is locked in on, focused in on. So think of the lock and the focus. We got to lock in on whatever the question is asking about for the key idea, not just any random thing that's not present in the question. Thank you guys and God bless.